Good evening, everybody. Welcome to EuMB TV's Eyes Up Mother Brown for this FA Cup special. It's Brentford versus West Ham United tonight. The game has just got underway with 36 seconds in on my clock. Rio, who I'm joined by, I will be joined by momentarily, might be a little bit ahead of me, but we'll find out in just a second. Let's get the video up and running. Where are we? There we go. Video's on. Brentford versus West Ham United this evening. And the Hammers looking to get some revenge, in a way, for the recent league defeat. Excuse me, just trying to sort out some glasses. Which ones should we wear tonight? Let's try these. At the London Olympic Stadium. There we go. Can see what we're doing now. Right, let's see if we can get Rio in on the stream. West Ham playing in that away kit of, just see Mickey Antonio trying to get into the box, but it's not happening. West Ham playing in their away kit of white shirts, orange shorts, and looks like West Ham have got a free kick. Anyway, I'm not alone tonight. You'll be pleased to hear, no doubt. I am joined, and will be joined very, very shortly. There he is, by my main man, Rio. Rio, how you doing, buddy?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
Yes.
Let me just make a few audio adjustments here. Let's turn that one down and turn that one up. So hopefully you can all hear me now. Brentford, West Ham, Rio. I was just saying, a chance to avenge what happened at the London Stadium a few weeks ago. How are you feeling about tonight? What do you reckon, mate? We got a chance in this one?
I was incredibly apprehensive before the game. I've seen the lineups though, and we've got a pretty strong 11 out there. So we're not. It may be due to other things, but we've got a pretty strong setup. I'm actually a little bit exuberant at the moment. That won't last long. I've just checked up the last time we played Brentford in the FA Cup, and that's gone. I've just lost my stream. Bang on target. I've had a brilliant stream until you turn up.
Oh, it's not going to be another night like that, is it?
It could be. Gracious. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I was running a bit late because my streaming service I allowed to expire, and I never find out until West Ham play, because I don't really watch an awful lot of football apart from West Ham, and it was only when I was trying to log on 5 or 10 minutes ago that I noticed that it expired. So anyway, we're back on now. So at least one of us has got a stream. Hopefully we can get Rio back on in just a minute. If not, I guess we'll have to do a bit of what Noman and was doing the other night with regards to keeping up to date on the forums and see what everyone else is saying. We should Rio say hello to everybody joining us on the stream, which once I've managed to get my finger out and sort out everything here, I shall do. Hang on a second. Hello, everyone. Anyway, who have we got? Rio, have we got on the live stream? Do you want to take that one on? Say hello to everyone while I'm sorting out some links and things here.
I was prepared for something else, so let me jump onto the YouTube channel.
All right, mate. Okay.
I'm juggling around like Jean-Michel Jarre.
All well organised as usual, as you can see, team.
Dan B's definitely on the thing. Hobo, Sonny Mitchell, Steve Palmer as per usual. AGXM. Good evening. Polaroids. Welcome along, people. Welcome along. Please bear with us while we, as well as usual drivel, we've got usual non-statutory broadcast problems in terms of streaming, audio, me being inept at anything like this, bear with us. I only do to keep myself busy now because I ain't got a lot on there anymore.
Hi guys. We did actually, Rio, we did ask for some predictions, didn't we, as well, from the team, and we've got a couple coming already. Gore has gone for a 2-1. Is that a 2-1 win for West Ham or a 2? I'm not sure. You've got 1-2. That could be read either way. Gore, let us know. Polaroid's gone for a 2-1 away win. Steve Palmer 3-1 defeat. And not many more predictions. Maybe everyone's a bit worried about predicting. What are you going to go for tonight, Rio?
Yeah, I said before the game, I would have gone for a 2-0 defeat. I just don't think we've got the mentality. And it's, as much as I hate to say it, because everyone loves a cup run and being successful, the potential win a trophy. I just think I didn't think we was in the right frame of mind for it. So before we go for a 2-0 defeat, at the moment, I'm going for a 2-1 win.
Well, we'll take that. Are you saying you're kind of enthused by the team we've got out there? What's given you particular encouragement from what you've seen there?
I just don't think Brentford have gone as serious as they possibly could have done.
Right.
And I know we've got a little couple of injuries which have come into play, but it's still a really strong lineup from us. And in the midst of a relegation battle, which, let's face it, we're in. Now we've still played probably one of the strongest lineups we possibly could have done in the cup. There's no kids in the starting 11. Everyone there is a seasoned professional, right, should be able to do the job. And a year ago, this team that's lined up tonight would have waltzed through many a league team, let alone a cup competition.
Yeah. Well, what do you put that down to? The fact that Moyes has gone for a pretty strong team tonight. I mean, we were saying the other night, weren't we, that kind of winning, breeds sort of, that positive mentality and a good morale within the camp, which is obviously something that we could do with improving upon. Do you think that might have something to do with it?
I think that's 90% of it. Winning breeds success. It breeds a really positive action on the training ground and within the club. But also, I think, we need a win of some sort. And getting a bit of confidence back via the cup competitions, particularly the 2 league games coming up, right? And these 2 league games after this particular game are probably the most crucial league games we've encountered for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We've got to instill that mentality into the squad. I just think he's using the tools at his disposal, knowing we've got other options available should it be needed in a week's time.
Yeah.
But those out there can do the job, do it comfortably, and as you would say, it's breeding. It's a breeding ground for success and breeding ground for a change of mentality.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we're just in Brentford. How many times am I going to say that tonight? Brentford on the attack on West Ham's right-hand side, just outside the penalty box. If you haven't got a stream, let us know in the comments below, and we'll keep you up to date, perhaps a bit more than usual. We know the game isn't being broadcast in the UK, but obviously a lot more people have access to streams from anywhere around the globe these days. But if you haven't got a stream, do let us know, and we'll keep you a little bit more up to date. We don't want to be repeating everything that you can see already. So if you've all got streams, we'll not do that. But let us know anyway how you fix. 8 minutes gone anyway. Brentford now attacking on the left-hand side. They've got to West Ham's byline, but West Ham defending in numbers. What have we got in terms of, we should briefly go through we've just seen Brentford go into the box, Brentford go into the box. Lucas Fabianski's came and picked the ball out. Changes, what changes have we got in the team tonight, Rio, from the other night? Who's come in, who's out?
Well, surprisingly enough, I think Aaron Fonseca's got a bit of an injury, so he's not even on the bench tonight. So a normal cup keeper isn't there. So Fabianski retains his place. According to the BBC lineup, we've got back 3 of Dawson, Ogbonna and Agard. Ben Johnson comes back into the side and Emerson comes back into the side, both at wing back, we presume. A central 3, we believe, of Lucas Paqueta, Declan Rice and Thomas Souček. And playing the attacking roles is Jarrod Bowen, who's augmented up front by Mikel Antonio. And on the bench for West Ham tonight, we've got Alan Creswell, Pablo Fornals, Flynn Downs, Said Benrahma, Theo Kehrer, Connor Coventry, Darren Randolph, Simon Swire and Devon Mubama.
Good stuff. I've got to say, Ria, I'm a little bit disappointed not to see Pablo Fornals out there tonight, because I thought he played really well the other day, but maybe he's been saved for next week. I don't know, but what do you make of the team? Is there anyone else out there you would have liked to have seen? Obviously, as you said, we've got 1 or 2 injured that we can't use.
Given the fact we need to do a little bit of squad rotation, because that's the way of the modern gaming and cup competition nowadays. Anyway, I'm disappointed to see Pablo play, because he's not had a lot of football, so you would have thought it was pretty impressive on the ball on the other night. But obviously he's finishing netting down. But you would like to see him get a proper run out again tonight, just to build up his fitness stamina. But you can't really fault anyone who's not playing. Possibly Flynn Downs could have been able to shout instead of Souček. But you can't fault, because Tom got dropped the other week. Maybe he's got a point to prove. So you never know. Yeah,
no, that's true. That's true. Emma's told us that she hasn't got a stream, so we're going to try and we'll add a few comments as we go along, Emma. Azadine Eliuri asking where you can find the match. Azadine, if you go onto the KUMB.com forum, look for the streaming links thread there, you'll find it. West Ham attacking on the right hand side as we speak. Johnson's just trying to put across, and it's been blocked, but West Ham have regained possession. Now Lucas Paquette with the ball, 25 yards from goal, but it's come to nothing. We're still really waiting. I can tell we're waiting for our first real effort on goal, Rio, because I haven't even got my notepad out yet, and we're on my clock anyway. We're 10 minutes and 48 seconds in.
I've developed a phobia of notepads over the
There we go. Out it comes. Out it comes. So yeah, Brentford obviously missing a couple of players, most notably Ivan Toney not in that starting 11 tonight, Rio.
No, he's not playing. I can run for the Brentford side if you want me to. Despite the fact a couple of these are going to call me absolute nightmares. Starting with the keeper. In goal is Stratovska. And they've got Ayer, Beck Sorensen, me, Roslav, Da Silva, Jensen, Damgos, Godas, Lewis Potter and Vissa starting. On the bench, Rico Henry, Knos, Schnard, Jorgensen, Janelt, Stevens, Cox, Travitt, and Yamaluk. Which you got to say, a couple of years ago, Brentford were, one of his teams archetypal based on British-only players. And the demographics of the Brentford squad have changed rapidly over the last 5 years, haven't they?
They have indeed. As it seems, as the weather over there, because it's absolutely hammering down by the looks of it now, which is pretty much, I think, how we ended the other night against Leeds. But anyway, 12 minutes gone. There you go. You've had the teams. Thanks to Rio for bringing those to us. There is. Where are you on your clock at the moment, Rio? I've got 12:20, 21:22.
Oh, I'm up to 13:33.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
But this is stream 2, which keeps jumping out. When I go back to the other one, it goes back to about 10:90.
Okay. So we could be anywhere. You guys on the.
That's anywhere.
Yeah. So
as I say that, it's just this one's just chopped again. So it's a nightmare.
All right. Well, we'll bring you up to date anyway. Paul McCarthy going for a 2-1 West Ham win. I know Preview Percy fancied a West Ham away win in his preview on KUMB earlier this week, and so there's a bit of quiet confidence out there by all accounts, which I guess is a bit surprising given that we haven't won in. What is it? I forget now. It's 6 straight defeats and the draw, wasn't it? So 7 without a win now. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. So
we're unbeaten this calendar year, which is a good point.
We are indeed. And I was quite pleased actually. I had my I returned to my football training last night with some of the other young chaps of this part of the world, and there's a couple of Leeds fans in the team, and actually talking to them about the game the other night, they felt they were very, very lucky. And incidentally, they also felt that what's the lad's name who took Soufal out? That's the one. They agreed that he was very, very lucky to stay on the pitch. Felt he should have been given a red card, but dangerous ball coming from Lewis Potter and all Brentford nearly going ahead. Rio might have seen that about 3 hours ago, but I've just seen it 14 minutes on the clock. Ball played in from the right from Lewis Potter, who of course is a lad that West Ham were keeping an eye on for quite a while. Good chance for Brentford, that, Rio.
Yeah, I've had to jump back on another stream, so I probably haven't got that one yet.
Okay. Well, the ball's come in. I'm just trying to see who it is who's had the shot. It's Vissa, the number 11, who got in, but just couldn't guide his shot inside the post. I think Fabianski might have saved it because there's a corner here for Brentford. But first real chance for the home side to open the scoring. First real chance for anyone actually to put the ball in there. And Brentford have a corner. I'll take you through this as Rio's now behind me a little bit. Played short, cross comes in. Angelo Bonner heads it out. Still with Brentford, who now have a throw-in. Now, we've got to be careful here because we know what West Ham are like from throw-ins. 4 goals conceded in the last 2 games, including 2 against Brentford. They've managed to get a cross in from the right, but fortunately this time, I think it's Lucas Paquette has got a boot on it and cleared it out, and it's gone all the way back to their goalkeeper. So damage averted for now. Anyway, what did you make of that, Rio? Everton, I think, Southampton, 2 against Brentford, 2 more against Leeds on Wednesday night. 6 goals at least that I can recall that West Ham have conceded goals from throw-ins this season. What's that down? I mean, is that would you say that's tactical, or is it just players switching off?
I just think it's indicative of the malaise in the squad at the moment. Everything David Moyes, when he took over, particularly for his second part of his tenure, he demanded that players work harder, run harder, do all the basics right. And we've switched off. We're showing none of the mentality or none of the attributes that he tried to instill, and it has served him so well. They've kind of completely evaporated. Now, whether that's something to do with, rumblings behind the scene, lackadaisical coaching, even missing the likes of Irving and Pearce in the backroom staff, it's really hard to pinpoint. But when you're not doing the basics right, you're starting really with a goal difference, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess it's just one of those things when things aren't going for you, isn't it? Those things are likely to occur, and I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. I've got to say, 6 goals from throw-ins. You rarely see that ever. I think I can't recall many goals that we've conceded in recent seasons from those sort of areas, anyway. And like to have 6 in the space of a couple of months is just unbelievable. But
it's a definite modern phenomenon, because even when we was at our peak, like scoring from set pieces, it was never regarding throw-ins. It was always come from like either a free kick or a corner. The actual throw-in part of our game has never been a useful tool for us. I can never remember even the use of a long throw-in. We've always been garbage at them. Let them thrown into actual space and trying to find players on the move and stuff like that. So it's completely alien to us.
Couple of players that we haven't seen an awful lot of this season, including Naya Fagerd. Had a full run out against Leeds. What did you make of him the other night? Because I've seen some sort of different opinions. Some people felt he was a little bit poor, maybe responsible for one of the goals. Others felt he was really solid. What did you make of that appearance at Leeds?
I definitely think that he was culpable for at least part of that second goal. But, he's had very little football. Apart from the World Cup games, he's not had a real run out for us. It's only about 2 or 3 appearances in the Cups. So it's really hard to judge him. And again, he's coming back from an injury, which, if he keeps him out of the World Cup quarter-final or the World Cup semi, it must be serious. And he's had very little time to kind of reintegrate with the squad and get used to playing partners, because, again, we're chopping and changing our back line. So, it's hard to kind of be critical of him, but, he's got a reputation. We paid a lot of money for him. You would have hoped that he would have been a bit sharper. But you could say that about all our defence the other night. I mean, the goals we let in, Craig Dawson was all at sea for the first one, and you can point fingers at 2 or 3 players for the second.
Yeah, I guess, it's going to take him a while. He's a little bit ring rusty, I suppose, and also still new to English football. So I guess it's going to take a little bit longer to acclimatise. But I'm quite frankly, I'm just glad to see him in the side. I'll be even more happy when I see Kurt Zouma alongside him. But anyway, coming back to the game, West Ham are on the attack now. Let's just stick with this a minute, because there's a shot coming in. It's not a particularly strong one. It's just wide of the right-hand post. I think it's Jarrod Bowen who's dragged his shot wide. We're in the 19th minute. We did have another effort a minute or so ago. Lucas Paqueta this time, and it was equally wild and off target. So this has been a bit of a problem again for us. And we've spoken a lot about West Ham not scoring goals this season, but we seem to be taking a lot of pot shots from kind of silly positions or areas where you wouldn't traditionally expect us to score from.
Yeah, that is another thing that's creeping into play. I mean, maybe it's because of the paucity of our actual clear-cut opportunities. We're not creating chances where players are running onto the ball and having a crack at goal. Where we play so well in the counter-attack for the last 2 years, that's not been evident at all this season whatsoever. So in a way, it's not surprising that players are kind of shooting from distance and inopportune kind of angles, stuff like that. It's probably that little bit of desperation. And it's something that needs to be worked on the training ground, and also get that confidence back filtered onto the pitch. But something needs to change. But how we do that in the midst of I'm going to mention the word again, relegation battle. It's hard to kind of it's hard to change that mentality. But we are kind of desperation states at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of shots coming in. I mean, we've spoke about it fairly recently, 20, 18, 23, whatever it was in a row. Again, the other night, I think it was 15 or 16 shots at least, but only 2 on target. which of course is quite telling. I mean, it doesn't really count, I guess, in a way if you're putting into Rosette every 5 minutes. It's not really, you're not going to score from those areas. But yeah, I think it's just there is definitely a bit of panic in that final third and a lack of confidence, which I guess you could say it's you're only going to get that from scoring goals. That kind of so it's a bit of a catch-22 situation anyway. What have we got? AGXM and Polaroid both impressed with what we've seen from Lucas Paqueta in the last few minutes, saying he's starting to pull a few strings in midfield, which is good to see. I was quite pleased with him the other night. I thought he had a pretty good game, Rio. Obviously, he scored the penalty, but which gave us kittens, actually, the way he took it. But I thought he had his best game since he's been in England. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was certainly an improvement on what we've seen so far, because he did everything in the right areas at both ends of the pitch. It wasn't just contributing solely on an attacking basis. When he did have the ball, he didn't waste it. He was quite clearly looking for pick out really good passes, but he also put in a shift in defensively, which is really good to see. Mm-hmm. And again, in the midst of the two-word thing that I've mentioned for the third time already, that's the kind of player we need. We need someone who's going to put a shift in and operate at both ends of the pitch.
Yeah, it's funny because you wouldn't traditionally look at Brazilian players and expect them to be grafters in those sort of areas, but he certainly can give us that, and let's hope it continues. And obviously, impressing one or two of the team already. There's 22 minutes gone at the G-Tech, I think it's called this week, isn't it? The Community Stadium, and it's Brentford 0, West Ham United 0. Not really an awful lot to get excited about so far, folks, as we approach the quarter point in the game, and West Ham in possession. But we shall do our best to keep it entertaining. Anyway, there's not much to go by on the pitch. Question for you, Ree. Alf Garnett's ex-missus says, "Do you see the board giving Moyes more money this month?"
Oh dear, I think that's been muddied by a little bit by the events of the last week or so. To be honest, after what he spent in the summer, I would have thought the money would be scarce at best, and I would have thought the loan route would what we'd be going through. But if they want to preserve the Premiership League status, I'm sure if money was available for the right player, it would be made available.
We'll come back to that in just a minute, because we've just seen a very interesting moment. Through ball play by Thomas Souček into the edge, or down to the byline. Lucas Paqueta appears to keep the ball in play and turns and looks to play it into the centre, whereupon it appears he's tripped by a Brentford defender. Now, the linesman has given a goal kick saying the ball was out. I don't think it's out. And Paqueta's gone down requesting a penalty. The referee's having none of it, but be interesting to have another look at that. Also, just got to point out that Paqueta's pointed to the bench, clutching his groin. So I don't know if that's some kind of strain there, but he looks a little bit concerned. Rio, what do you make of that little episode?
Dare I say it, mate? It was the most inopportune moments of my stream to crash. It crashed. So I'm jumping around. I've now got the iPad 2 trying to find one stream. I've got my phone on the one that's jumping in and out. So I do apologise.
No worries. I mean, I've got to say, I'm not convinced there was a foul there. The ball was certainly still in, hadn't gone out. But no VAR, asks AGXM. I don't think we've got VAR. Have we even in there? We had this strange thing last year, didn't we, where the Premier League grounds had it at the FA Cups. I think we went to Kidderminster, didn't we? And there was no VAR.
Yeah, I think that's the same today, because there was one of the games earlier that a couple of decisions should have gone to VAR, and I think it's a Leicester game at Gillingham. Yeah, a couple of younger players were looking straight to the ref and trying to insinuate to go to VAR, and it just wasn't available. No,
so I think we can safely assume there is none at the moment. Hobo, talking about that, says, "I thought it was out." Steve Palmer says it's definitely a close one. Hold of the ball and all that. Steve not agreeing, but anyway, nothing given. Now we're just trying to keep a close eye on Lucas Paqueta. He's taken himself wide out onto the far touchline. Seems to be moving with relative ease. I don't think there's any great problem there. So hopefully he's all right. But that was a bit of a worry because he seems to have been the the best player or the most attacking player for West Ham so far. Hammers anyway have the ball. Mick Antonio on the edge of Brentford's box, putting their defenders under pressure. Very dodgy ball play back to the goalkeeper, Strakosha, but he's managed to hook it clear and West Ham retrieve possession. Once again, 25 and a half, and it's gone still nil. Evening all, says Craven. Sorry, I'm late, been trying to find a show. We can get started now, Craven. Now you're here. We've been waiting for 25 minutes for you to arrive. I hope you're well, buddy. Anyway, in other news, Rio, looks like we've got an Orient fan on the stream. Come on, you O's, COYOs, Spurs Light as they're now. Of course, back in the day, and you'll remember this, Rio. If West Ham were playing away from home, a lot of our fans would shoot on down to Brisbane Road. Did you ever do that, or was that? I mean, I remember my father doing it a few times, but I never did it.
Yeah, until I took up kind of full residency, home and away for West Ham, I did many a trip to Brisbane Road. Actually, my first ever professional game, was at Orient. One of my best mates at the time was a massive Orient fan, so him and his dad took me along. Yeah, I think it was in 1981. Orient v Huddersfield. I kind of besmirched myself because being a young naive kid, like they're all talking about it, I was enjoying the game. I still got a soft spot for Orient. Enjoying the game, and someone passing the radio around, going, "Oh, what's the scores?" like that. And someone went, "Oh, West Ham winning." So I've jumped out my seat, gone, "Yeah," like as a naive 8-year-old, getting kind of dodgy looks from people around me. I still got a soft spot. When obviously your first ever game, professional game at Brisbane Road, I think Stan Bowles was playing for Orient. That's how bloody old I am now. Good lord. Yeah, great Sir Stanley Bowles. I'm trying to think of my first trip down there. It must have been an FA Cup tie. I think we drew and won the replay. Could you put a date on that? It would have been 1980, 87, 88, around then. Oh, that one. Oh yeah, there's one in 80. We played them in 80. We drew them in 80. That was 87. Yeah, sure, 87. If I remember rightly, wasn't that one of the coldest days on earth? I don't recall it. Yeah, I don't recall the weather, but it would have been, if it was a third or fourth round tie, it would have been January, wouldn't it? So yes, no doubt. Paul Hilton got the equaliser or something like that. Yeah, I think it was a 1-1 draw. We beat them in replay 4-1. That's right. It was quite comfortable. Yeah, but yeah, as you rightly say, we beat them, didn't we, on the way to winning the cup in 1980? Yeah. Before we played Swansea, was that the round before, third round? That's the one. Yeah. But definitely the 87 one was one of the coldest days on earth. It's probably the second coldest I've ever been at the football ground. The coldest being? Portsmouth Way, 1990, middle of winter, so cold. He might shed a tear because he was so cold, and it froze to his cheek. Rather strangely, one of the warmest days I've ever had was also at Fratton Park, but it was the opening day of the season. Again, that would have been around that time, 88, 89, I think it was. And we were on that big open terrace. Yeah, and we were in the sun was kind of right in front of us, and we won 2-0, if I remember correctly, and we all came back with lovely red faces. You know, like when you go skiing, you're all white apart from your face. It was kind of a bit like that. I had the polar opposite, and the word polar being an operative word because it was absolutely boring. The wind whipping off the channel, freezing cold, snowed a lot. It was awful. Happy days. 29 minutes gone. Brentford nil, West Ham United nil. Brentford attacking on West Ham's right. Not an awful lot to bring to you so far, which is why we've been talking about Portsmouth and being hot and cold at football games. But we're approaching the half-hour mark. Brentford looking to build, but just keeping the ball at the moment with West Ham. 11 men behind the ball. Hi, David O'Rourke. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. And London Kane, fair play, lads. He says, "Come on, you O's." Fair enough. We always welcome away fans on Knees Up, Mother Brown. London Kane, as long as you're well behaved, we have absolutely no issues with that. I'd just like to say, London Kane, right? My glory days when I used to go Orient regularly when I couldn't go West Ham. The days of Ian Durieff, Alan Comfort, and even when Kevin Campbell went on loan there. Fantastic couple of days over there. I used to love it. Brentford have a throw-in, bang on the half-hour mark. On West Ham's left-hand side, just outside the penalty box. It's going to be a long throw-in hurled into the box
by Beck, the number 29 with the ponytail. Well, it's not really a ponytail, actually. It's just kind of a bit of stretched hair around the back of his head. Put it down as a proper ponytail. But anyway, he's going to Rory delap this one into the box by the looks of him. Takes a run up, hurls it in, reaches the edge of the 6-yard box, and West Ham able to head it out. There was a brief highlight a few moments ago. Lucas Paqueta under pressure just managed to flick the ball over an opponent's head, which was rather superb. And he seems to pull one of those out every game, doesn't he? At the moment, Rio, we had the one at Leeds the other night where he did a little back flick off the inside of his ankle, which was just sublime. Hang on a sec.
The promise is there, isn't it? If we can actually string it together week in, week out, and in a more successful side, one that isn't under kind of pressure all the time, to think how we could play when he's not free flowing, no kind of pressure. It's almost frightening to think about. I doubt we'll ever see it by West Ham, though. That's my worry.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. You never know. You never know. Brentford breaking again on West Ham's right-hand side. Hammer's under a little bit of pressure, back in numbers, but still defending well. There's a shot going to come in now. Oh, and it's about 10 yards over the bar. And comes to nothing. Brentford's first effort since the 14th minute. I think that Visa effort that was saved by Lucas Fabianski. Just trying to work out who it is who's had the shot there. I think it's young Lewis Potter. Takes it on his left foot and gets it all wrong. And puts it into the ground. What do you make of Lewis Potter? I mean, he was kind of come from Hull, I think, didn't he? Same as Jarrod Bowen. Yeah. Another one of those youngsters that a lot of people felt we should have gone for, but doesn't seem to have pulled up any trees at the G-Tech Community Stadium yet so far this season.
Much lauded during mid-season, during the season break, and spent a lot of money on him, I think, Brentford, didn't they? In the end, it's about 20 million quid.
Yes.
But we're not seeing a lot of him. And if he kind of forces his way into a Brentford side, you can understand why David Moyes didn't pursue what he wanted, because we've obviously gone on and bought allegedly better players with better calibre and better quality. And would he have really featured for us? It's hard to see how would have fitted in. But he can't get in let's put it this way. Although Brentford are doing really well and they work well as a unit, if he can't get in that kind of that mentality in that squad where you work hard for each other and it's do or die, would he kind of fit into more kind of free-flowing side like us?
Yeah, it's one to watch, I guess. I mean, he's still only a young lad. He's got plenty of years ahead of him. But we've just seen Thomas Souček penalised for a purported foul on De Silva about 35 yards from West Ham's goal. Didn't look much in it, to be fair. I think he just outmuscled the Brentford player off the ball. But Andre Mariner decided to give it as a free kick in the home side's favour. And we're just going to see what happens here. 33 minutes on the clock, still 0-0 at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Ball drifted into the penalty box to the left-hand side, headed on by a Brentford player. Angelo Ogbonna goes up to win it, and it's fallen kindly for Craig Dawson, who hooks it away into touch. So still no danger. The Hammers managing to keep Brentford at bay fairly easy. Of course, we have replays, don't we, this year again in the FA Cup if this one does end in a draw after 90 minutes.
We do indeed, which, let's be honest, everyone loves a replay normally, but, it's cold out there. There's a credit crunch on. Do we really need it? Everyone's moaning about how many games we play, and it's far too many nowadays.
Yeah.
Because we're involved in Europe, obviously, that's exacerbated. So for us, it's kind of unnecessary. And I know there's a massive meeting yesterday between the EFL, Premier League and other various English league parties regarding English football. So I think replays this year could be very much the last year we actually get them. I think it's going to be a thing of the past in the very near future.
Yeah, it's looking that way. There was a big meeting, wasn't there, the other day when they were talking about getting rid of the replays and allowing teams in Europe to field teams of academy teams or B teams, essentially, in the Carabao Cup without any risk of punishment. But anyway, we're going to stick with the game for just a second. Just coming to 35 minutes because I believe we're about to see Brentford hit the post. Cross coming from the left-hand side. Yeah, indeed they have. It's been given as offside, but the cross came in from the left-hand side, nodded back down into the centre where a shot came in I'm not quite sure who it was who had the shot. It cannoned back off the post. Let's have a look. Cross came in, as I said, it was headed down. It's is it? I'm not sure. Is that Damsgaard that had the shot? But anyway, a teammate was offside, and it comes to nothing. But that's the closest we've come to a goal anyway so far. Brentford rattling the woodwork. Lucas Fabianski was beaten there, wouldn't have made it, but no danger anyway because it was immediately given offside. Set pieces. Are we worried? I mean, we haven't been that great attacking, Rio, have we? But is it a concern defensively this season? Set pieces. I can't recall us conceding too many from dead ball situations, apart from throw-ins, of course.
There has been a couple, and again, it's an alarming thing that's crept in because it's always in the Moyes mantra that we defend resolutely at set pieces. You don't give away cheap goals, and it's completely reversed this season. I know we've had a really huge turnover in squad numbers and things like that, but you would have thought get the basics right. You know, as much of an attacking threat we had from set piece over the last 18 months, 2 years, we also were so resolute at defending them that that also saves a goal, doesn't it? So, you know, it has been part of our demise. But what we did so well in terms of our attacking outlay, in terms of set pieces and hitting on the counter, that's been eradicated. Cheap mistakes defending things like throw-ins and corners and free kicks. When they creep in, like you're kind of fighting a losing battle, and this is where the root of our demise has started this season, I think.
Yeah, it's it'd be nice if we could get it right just once altogether, but all these little things have crept in over the course of the season so far, and it certainly hasn't helped.
And they're crept in all at the same time. And I think that's the big issue. You know, you lose one out there, and normally you think, oh well, we can defend that way and kind of try and exacerbate an outlet in another way to score goals. But because we're conceding cheap goals, the cheap goals we're scoring, we've lost two key aspects of our game, which made us so successful.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to pick it up and improve in the second half of the season. 37.5 minutes gone, still goalless at the G-Tech Community Stadium this afternoon. Now, where are we? Craven asks, is Areola unwell, injured, or did he give Moyes a Glasgow kiss as he's not playing? But as Rio pointed out, Craven, had you been here earlier on, young man, you would have heard Rio say that he was unavailable, pulled out late. Darren Randolph, is Randolph on the bench, isn't it, today instead, as a result. Yeah,
Craven, we were so worried. We ran around all the hospitals. We called your parents. We called everyone, your uncles, your aunts. Come, listen. It's a day of mobile phones. Give us an excuse, please. Come
on. Where are we? Craven asks again. Craven is busy now. He's back on the stream. I wonder how many games it is in a row that we've gone behind and conceded first. Must be nearly every game. I think it was 10 or 11, wasn't it? Before the break.
Yeah.
And then obviously we had the Arsenal game as well. Brentford since. So we're probably up to 12 or 13 now, Rio. Would that be a reasonably accurate assessment?
I've guesstimate of 78, but that's just the West Ham in me coming out. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's 13.
Yeah, unlucky for some. David O'Rourke says, I think the fact we haven't played the same back 4-5 all season also affects our abilities to defend set pieces. Good point, actually, David. And this, again, is heard the other night something we touched on, the fact that David Moyes hasn't been able to call upon his first choice back 4 or 11, of course, at many points, if any, this season. And it certainly doesn't help the team in terms of, working out how best they are to play together, and that kind of just get used to playing each other when you're out against or playing alongside different teammates every week. No cohesion, I guess, is the word.
I did find out something today, which I'll bring up at half time in terms of settled teams. But that's a half time thing. Awesome.
Okay. Look forward to that one. But yeah, it's certainly been a problem. It's a fair point. It's it's hard impossible, I think, to say that it hasn't affected us. Mikhail Antonio drives for the centre, looks for options, plays it short for Thomas Souček. Might have been better going into the box himself, but West Ham still in possession. Souček with the ball, plays it short to Paqueta, plays it across to Declan Rice. and plays it out wide. And West Ham looking to build again, but Ben Johnson, shall I say, loses the ball. Declan Rice, Rio. Would I be right in thinking that he seems to have been playing rather deeper in the last 2 games? I'm talking about here in Leeds. It doesn't seem to be bombing forward an awful lot. Kind of almost as if Moyes said to him, we want you to play that position you play for England, kind of how you were playing for West Ham up until the start of this season. In that kind of just sitting in front of the back four rather than bursting forward and getting to those areas where, you might expect Thomas Souček to profit from.
Yeah, I think that's because Thomas Souček has actually been in the side last 2 games. But I've said this on the forum in the aftermath of the Arsenal defeat, especially. Declan Rice is probably, for me, the best defensive central midfielder in the whole of the Premier League, if not one of the top 3 in Europe. Now, if he concentrates solely on that, and rather than taking the kind of a mini Scott Parker who does everything, a mini Steven Gerrard who wants to do everything, and concentrate solely on that defensive role, he'll not only be the best in the Premier League, he'll turn out to be the best in the world. But over the last 18 months, we tried to accommodate him into his new kind of role where he wants to dominate and be the all-round player. And it doesn't suit him. Now, he hasn't got the finishing ability at the moment. He has got the capabilities in a lot of areas, but concentrate on the job that made you so successful in the first place. And we would see the benefit, he'd see the benefit. And I think it'd open up a lot more opportunities for him when he does decide to move on. Because many a team around Europe are crying out for kind of almost a Makelele role. Somebody who just protects that back four. If they can pop up around there with a little bit of a drive and a set-piece goal, brilliant. But the job of a defensive midfielder is much maligned in English football, and it's been much maligned over West Ham over the years. We've got the world's best, one of the world's best at the moment, and we've accommodated him. But it's been to the detriment of definitely Thomas Souček, if not most of the team.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. I mean, it's good to see him playing that right. You get the feeling if he was to go to a different club, somewhere like I don't know, Chelsea or somewhere like that, he wouldn't be afforded that kind of opportunity to be instructed to play that role and that role only, rather than be able to roam, all over the pitch. So I don't see why he shouldn't be restricted to that at West Ham, and clearly that's where he's best at, right? That's that's where he came to, that's where he emerged from. Obviously as a central defender initially, but we know what a fantastic job he's done in that role. And I'm kind of with you on that. I think it'd be good if he should stick there. David O'Rourke also agrees and says it's about time David Moyes told Declan Rice to play the role he's world class at. Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, he is not. Just seen Lucas Fabianski come to take a cross, palms it away. First of all, managed to scramble across the penalty area and clutch the ball at the second attempt, and it remains 0-0. Still an awful, not an awful lot to get excited about so far, and we're only sort of 2 minutes away from the half-time interval now. 43 minutes gone. Brentford 0, West Ham United 0. A lot more shouts, Rio, for Lucas Paqueta there. David O'Rourke saying he's everywhere, and Steve Palmer having pointed out that he was tackling at left back a few moments ago, working really hard and very deep. A Brazilian maybe, I guess we're talking about Rice, and there's some crossover there, isn't there, where if you have got Paqueta playing slightly more advanced position, he's able to take on those chores and tasks. That means Declan Rice doesn't have to be, the answer to every issue we've got in the midfield. Yeah,
most definitely. And also, like I said before, he also frees up Thomas Souček to play a more attacking role where he'll probably thrive, and you won't get as much criticism, not just from West Ham fans, because he's getting a lot of stick. He doesn't contribute, although his defensive stats were great last season. Because he's not a natural kind of a ball player, not a natural link-up player. Paqueta can suit that deep role. We can dictate play from there. You've got Declan Rice patrolling the back four, looking after Paqueta. It frees up another role in midfield. Either Souček can do it with his aerial ability. You can play 4 nails up there, just be on the front 1 or 2 to try and link up play and dictate play from there. I just think it makes us a better balanced side. And Declan Rice is, when he plays for England, he plays that strictly defensive role. He looks $1 million. So why not do it for your club? That's how you made your name. As you said, this is how you got into England set up initially. it's a way you've got a reputation around Europe because you've excelled in that role. Why change it? Just do what you're good at.
Let us know what you think. If anyone disagrees with Rio, myself, and David O'Rourke, and one or two others, you think Declan Rice should be given more opportunity to roam? Let us know. We've just seen West Ham win our first corner of the half after another sublime bit of skill from Lucas Paqueta. But it was taken by Emerson, didn't clear the near post, and actually cannoned off of one of our players for a goal kick, which kind of sums up the first half, really, which is now officially over, although we're still watching, or I'm still watching the final few seconds. Only 1 minute of added on time called at the end of this first half. It's really been pretty poor fare. You've got to say Rio so far, which I suppose out of the two teams, it suits West Ham.
Yeah, most definitely. No, it's a tough place to go, Brentford. So to go into half time, neither team's impressed. Right, it's time for us to regroup. We've got a lot of options on the bench as well. The cards are in our favour, dare I say it.
Half-time whistle has blown at the GTEC Community Stadium. It's Brentford 0, West Ham United 0, 1 minute and 1 second. In fact, of added on time played. And it's been a pretty turgid first half. Let's just have a quick look at the highlights. And I say that in kind of inverted commas because there haven't really been any. But the closest I think anyone went to scoring was probably the Visa shot in the 14th minute, which Fabianski managed to push wide from about 5 or 6 yards out. Decent cross coming in from the right-hand side. And Visa met it low, but Fabianski managed to push it aside. Paqueta had West Ham's first effort after 18 minutes that was wild and over the bar, and Jarrod Bowen had another shot a minute later that was dragged wide of the post, the right-hand post. Slight moment of controversy on 24 minutes when Lucas Paqueta felt he'd been felled in the penalty box, having retrieved the ball from the byline with the his Brentford marker, having felt the ball had already gone out, which was something the linesman agreed with because a goal kick was given and Paqueta's protests were ignored. Lewis Potter next to have a shot. He fired over from 20 yards for the hosts. And then Brentford did actually manage to hit the post on 35 minutes from a free kick, which came from a delivery from the left-hand side. But it wouldn't have counted anyway because the offside flag was raised. West Ham getting their first corner of the half in the final minute of the half. And that was pretty much as good as it got. In terms of boring, dull and non-entertaining halves, Rio, I'm not sure I can recall too many that would match that this season.
No, it's not been up there, is it? I think the most entertaining I've been is trying to flick between 3 different streams and jump between 3 different screens. It's been like, it's kept me busy anyway.
Yeah,
but the fare on the pitch hasn't been great, has it?
No, it hasn't. Not an awful lot for us to look back at and talk about. In fact, there's absolutely nothing for us to look back and talk about. Apart from, we can talk about individual performances. Maybe Lucas Paqueta, probably the highlight for West Ham so far. A couple of lovely little sublime touches on the ball, and he's looked pretty decent. Epic hash time. Talking about Michail Antonio back in the starting 11 today, Rio. Epic not impressed, said he's been awful so far. Michail Antonio, is his time come and gone? Or is this just a blip, do you think?
Let's be honest, age is not on his side, is it? And the last 2 times he started a game, he's not been at the races. He's been pretty much non-existent today. When he's coming off the bench the last couple of times, especially was it the ball? There's a bomb. Was it? It was the Brentford game, wasn't it? The other week. Sorry. He came on and he made some of the worst decision making I've seen in a long time. And I hate to say it, Michail hasn't been known for his great decision making in the past, but he kind of took it to a new level. And he's 33 now.
Yeah, 32,
he's
33.
gone down to the route of being muscular and powerful, but it's the detriment of his footballing technique at times. And it's not improving. It's not going to get any better. The sad thing is that if you take him away and when Skamaka's not available, who do we have? Because we're not blessed with options. You're looking at one of the youngsters like Benrahma. If you stick Bowen up there, but Bowen's not got the physical attributes that David Moyes loves up front. So yeah, it's a lot of huff and bluff. The end product is getting more and more scarce.
Yes, needs a goal. I think it's fair to say, or two in the next. In the next 45 minutes would be quite handy, but certainly needs to start finding the back of the net if he's not going to have his critics on his back once again. Match stats, first half stats. Again, not particularly exciting, but Brentford 57% possession to West Ham's 43%. 4 shots for the home side, 1 on target, 3 shots from West Ham, none on target yet. Each side has had 1 corner each. Brentford have conceded 3 fouls, West Ham 5. Those stats pretty much summing up what we've just been saying, I think, Rio, in that there's been absolutely nothing to get excited about, really. But as I say, if there's obviously an awful lot to happen yet in this game, one would assume. If it does stay 0-0, you would imagine David Moyes and probably a fair few fans would be reasonably happy with that, the opportunity to take Brentford to a replay.
Before the game, I know I was a bit exuberant and a bit more cheerful once I seen the lineups. A draw at Brentford and taking them back to our place and trying to get a win via replay. It's a win-win for us, isn't it? We've got an awful record since Brentford came back into the Premier League. We've not won now. It's a difficult place to play. You can't knock the fact getting a draw there is a good result for us. And also, again, not losing is a massive factor. It kind of breeds a little bit more confidence, saying, yeah, we're still there, we're still competing, we can still hold our own against. I know it sounds really ridiculous to say we're holding our own against Brentford, but Brentford are a very well organised and disciplined side who caused a lot of problems this season and also last season. So getting a draw there and taking a bit of replay isn't a bad result whatsoever.
No, I don't disagree. And I mean, you touched on our record there against Brentford, and of course, 3 games we've played against them since they returned to the top flight. We've lost them all. Conceded 2 goals in each game, and we've only scored 1, and that was last October in the Premier League game at home when we lost 2-1. I think they scored right at the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
In that game.
That was the masters of modern day shithousery on the pitch. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, when they, I mean, I missed most of that game. Unusually for me, I don't miss many West Ham games, but in person or on here. But I was doing something else that day, and I remember coming home to hear Noam going absolutely ballistic about the fact that they'd been time wasting from about the 12th minute onwards or something like that. Yeah. But actually, interesting. You look at our record against our overall record against Brentford. They've actually got the better head-to-head record. West Ham 7 wins, 7 draws, and Brentford have won 9. Interestingly, in the league, we've never beaten them in the FA Cup. There's been 1 draw and 1 Brentford win. So overall, we've got 7 wins to their 10, and there's been 8 draws. So we've only won 7 out of 25 matches against them historically. So yeah, I guess you could put them down with the Brightons of this world and say they are one of our bogey teams.
Yep, they've definitely been added to the list. And I was trying to remember before they got re-promoted. I think the only time that I remember us playing them was back in the old Division 1 when it was just Division 1. The first year we did the Premier League was in the inception. We were standing the we got relegated, didn't we? So we missed the first inaugural Premier League season. We played Brentford. I think we won 4-0 at home or 4-1. And we played them on a Sunday afternoon. I think we got a result, but looking back through the history books, it's been very few and far between. And even then, there was a very dirty, physical, horrible side. I think it's had the likes of Gary Blissett up front, and yeah, horrible team to play against.
You're bang on. It was 4-0. The last time we beat Brentford was on It was a Saturday, actually, according to my records. It's Saturday, the 17th of April, 1993. So you got the year and the score absolutely bang on. Well done, 4-0. I don't have the scorers in front of me. My West Ham Bible is elsewhere at the moment. But, 4-0. And we drew 0-0 at their place, which was presumably the final game before Christmas, 1992, because it was the 20th of December. But that is actually going back further than that. You've got to go back to 1953 to find the last West Ham win against Brentford. So one win in, 70 years. Not great, is it really?
Standard for us, standard.
We've beaten Liverpool more frequently than that. So, that's
a damning indictment.
Yeah, indeed it is. Indeed it is. There's been one or two other games today. I've not seen the results so far, so I was just having a quick look through to see what's happened. And were there any big shocks earlier in the day, Rio? I mean, Man U not surprisingly beat Everton 3-0. Spurs beat Portsmouth. I see it. Forest and Blackpool. Was that how did that one go?
Yeah, Blackpool triumphed over Forest. I looked at the Forest lineup, and it wasn't a particularly weak side. I know they've got 5,000 players, so it's hard to gauge that. But yeah, it was a very good victory for Blackpool. Another couple of results that were earlier today. Boreham Wood won, Accrington won. So the non-league side got a good result there. Burnley winning 4-2 away to Bournemouth. So triumph over a Premiership team now. Chesterfield drew 3-3 with West Brom, a very late equaliser on West Brom. But yeah, in terms of shocks, there weren't very many today. At the moment, there's a massive one going on at the Rico, where non-league Wrexham currently 3-1 up away to Coventry. I know Wrexham are obviously funded by the American actors, and they're on a massive roll. But Coventry have been playing pretty well this season. I think it was up in the top 6 or 7 before today. So that's a massive result if Wrexham can hold on now.
What is it about Coventry? I mean, wasn't it Sutton? They got knocked out by the year after they beat Tottenham in the cup final. Yeah,
1987. Trying to think of the name, Matty Ryan or something like that. But remember him scoring. Since that great day that they beat Tottenham, I think their cup record has been absolutely horrific. They've not got anywhere at all, and they've been for a bit of a torrid time on and off the pitch. So I'd like to see Coventry get a little bit better, and improve, because it's a club who's always a Premiership club for me, and we always just get the better of them. So that's no reason I kind of like them.
Was it something like 48 years, wasn't it, in the top flight before they were relegated? I was actually talking to a couple of Coventry fans at a party just after the start of the season, and they were really quite bullish about their chances this year. They felt that they were going to do quite well in the Championship. Couple of young players there they were very, very impressed by down there, as well as a couple of foreign imports, and they felt they were going to do very well. But I don't suppose they're too happy right now. Now, of course, we're talking about FA Cups and non-league teams. We mentioned Kidderminster earlier on, of course, which is one we'd all like to forget very quickly. But it was a 25th anniversary this week, was it not, of a fairly famous game against a little village team from Yorkshire. Were you there that day against Emley?
God, yeah, that was poor. That's just what the cup competition was all about, though. Emley, a team that probably no one heard of beforehand. No one's ever heard of since.
No.
They came and they gave an absolute going off, and we was incredibly fortunate to get away with a 2-1 win. I'm sure it's a pretty late winner.
Yeah, Lampard scored, didn't he, after about 5 minutes? Yeah. They equalised, and then I think John Hartson scored. I think it was the 81st or 82nd minute.
Something like that, yeah. It's one of those days where your heart's in your mouth all the time, because you think, surely we can't do this. Surely we can't do this. Then it gets closer and closer to full time. You think, we're going to lose this. We're going to lose this. And eventually you get rescued. And you don't know whether to cheer or just feel sorry for Emily, because they come so close. And it's one of those old-fashioned West Ham days, which I kind of miss, that the opposition plays so well, and we should kind of applaud them off the pitch. There's a couple of times in recent history, stuff like that's not happened, and I think that's one of the most sour things about supporting West Ham at the moment now. Now, we haven't got those old traditions where you actually appreciate the effort of the opposition, regardless of their kind of stature at times. So, yeah, I'll miss them kind of days.
I'm trying to think of occasions upon which that was happened. Now, I guess the obvious one would have been Dinamo Tbilisi when they absolutely, was it 4-0, wasn't it? In that
yeah, they absolutely battered us. But there was probably
tie.
I wasn't fortunate enough to go. I was still a bit young at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it on the highlights that night, like sports night as it was at the time. And everyone I know who went that day has always said it's probably the best team they've ever seen at West Ham.
Yep.
Free-flowing attacking football and packed audience applauding them, the man off the pitch.
Yeah.
But I've seen Farnborough get applauded off for their
Farnborough, yeah.
Who else did we play? Well, Aldershot. They took us to a replay. Yeah, it's been a couple of occasions, and
yeah.
I mean, I know I hate to say it, but a couple of years back we played Macclesfield at home at the Olympic Stadium. We battered them 8-0, but Macclesfield were running their hearts off until the last minute. I know we beat them 8-0, but instead of like sitting there and applauding them for their efforts, everyone started off. I know it's the Olympic Stadium, everyone wants to get away. It's not the nicest place, but in the old days we would have stayed there to the very end and applauded them off because they've travelled a long way. And they deserved a round of applause because it's another club going for an absolute crisis, and we did nothing but sod off.
Kind of going back to that, the thing that always makes me laugh when recalling that tie against Tbilisi is that, of course, they absolutely hammered us. The tie was over after the first leg, of course, but then in true West Ham fashion, we went out to Tbilisi and won 1-0 in the second leg, which was just so very West Ham. Second half's underway anyway. We've just kicked off at the GTEC Community Stadium. It is 0-0 at half time. Very, very dull first half. Let's hope it lightens up in the second half, especially for those of us that are there, including our very own Gnome, who's just popped on to let us know that he's cold, wet, and his arthritis is playing up. So that sounds like a good afternoon all round, really. But let's hope Gnome and the other travelling fans who've made the effort to get over there this afternoon have got something to cheer in the second half. Lots of sympathy I can see in the live chat for poor Gnome. But no changes, I don't think, anyway, Rio, in the at the interval for either side by the looks of it.
Yeah, not seen any. As per usual, the streamers absolutely died on me. Just want to find Plan X at the moment.
I think mine's gone into one of those very strange loops, actually. Mine's gone a bit wonky. We just saw a penalty shout for Brentford. Ben Johnson went over the top of a strike. There's nothing in it at all. And West Ham able to break with Michail Antonio. I'm going to actually give mine a bit of a refresh because I think it's going to be about 3 minutes behind now. But any luck there, Rio? Are you back on yet?
I've got one that's buffering. If I can get this to work, it'll be brilliant. But don't hold your breath. All
right. Well, we've just seen West Ham were trying to build something, but Lucas Paqueta's pass into the box was taken out. So I'm just going to do a quick refresh while that's happening and see if I can get to. There we go. Back up a bit. Brentford attacking on the left-hand side. This looks dangerous. And there's a shot come in, and it might even be on target, that one, from Lewis Potter. Made its way into West Ham's box, got as far as the edge of the 6-yard box. Very, very acute angle right on the corner of it. And the save was fairly easy for Fabianski to make, so no danger. But Lewis Potter, we saw him. We spoke about him in the first half. Had one shot, high and wide. This one, I think that one's on target. I think that is going to trouble the on-target column in the statistics breakdown. But no trouble for Fabianski, who managed to save fairly easily. So it stays 0-0, 47 minutes gone.
Hey, I'm back.
Good stuff. Oh, going back to actually, I did want to mention something from earlier. We were talking about the ties that have taken place, Rio. Hang on, just seeing West Ham break on the left. Let's stick with this now because Paqueta's put a decent ball. What a chance! What a chance for West Ham to take the lead. West Ham should be ahead. They really should be ahead. Lucas Paqueta. on the left-hand side, played in by Emerson, manages to pull the ball back from the byline. Thomas Souček, goal at his mercy, 7 yards out. Just needs to side foot it in, and he's put it wide. Oh, he's dragged the shot wide. Unbelievable. What a chance. What a chance for West Ham. And still not on target, Rio. Still waiting for that first shot on target.
Unfortunately, the stream I've actually got back up is probably about a minute behind you now. But again, you've got to think, is it indicative of a lack of confidence? Because Thomas Souček a year and a half ago would have been knocking him in for fun, wouldn't he?
Oh, you've got to score those. You've got to put those away.
He thrives in them kind of chances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, is it indicative of the fact he's been chucked in that position for the last 18 months? You just don't know, do you? But, Tom,
huge chance for West Ham. Best chance of the game so far. Probably the best chance for the last 4 or 5 games, actually. But at least you've got to work the keeper. You've got to make him make a save, even if... oh dear, shocking stuff. But anyway, so it stays 0-0. Great chance for West Ham. I'll get this point out at some stage. Hopefully, I can do it now because Lucas Fabianski's taken a kick from inside his box for an offside decision. A lot of people have been speaking about how well Michael Carrick has been doing as Middlesbrough boss. Bizarrely, even after 9 or 10 matches in charge, people calling for him as a potential replacement for David Moyes. Well, he put his team out against a Premier League opposition today, and they didn't fare too well, did they, Rio, by all accounts? Final score, Middlesbrough 1, Brighton 5. Absolutely smashed. So I just wonder if that will quieten a few of those calls for Carrick. But obviously been doing a good job down there, or up there, should I say, so far. But today, not their day at all.
Absolutely not. I think it's far too early for Michael Carrick's kind of managerial career to even think about him taking over a Premiership side. We know he's got the intelligence. We know he's got the education, not only at West Ham, but also, I'm not going to give Tottenham any credit, but also Manchester United under the tenure of Ferguson and that. But yeah, it's far too early. And it's one of the players that everyone says, oh, he's a West Ham boy and things like that. I've never kind of categorised him under that.
Right.
I know it's kind of strange, a little bit harsh, but I never did. No, obviously, as he come through the youth system, I just loved him. That final season when we got relegated, the first season of the Championship when he played, I expect him to actually stand up by a country mile in the kind of amongst the opposition we had. And for me, he didn't. I know it was a very weird season that first year we went down, but he just didn't impose himself as much as I wanted to. And when he left, it wasn't too much of a wrench for me. And obviously, he went on to have a fantastic career. And he's a great player, but I just never took to him completely as our own because he didn't seem too gutted to leave, and he didn't seem too 100% in it in that year in the Championship. So he's a player I admire, player I like, but it's just not completely West Ham for me.
No, I get where you're coming from. Of course, he came from Wallsend Boys Club, didn't he? At the time when Newcastle didn't have any decent academy. I don't think they even had a reserve team at the time, which was one of the reasons he came down a bit. Anyway, back to this game. West Ham have a free kick on what looks like one of the lines used for rugby union, I would say. So I'm guessing that's 30 yards pretty much from goal. Declan Rice and Emerson are over it and discussing where they're going to deliver it. So opportunity for West Ham to do something from a set piece, maybe. Let's see what happens. 52 minutes gone. It's Emerson who delivers the ball. It's a real chance for Craig Dawson. Oh, it's gone all the way through to the back post where Dawson slides in and can't get any contact on it. And the ball eventually goes out for a throw-in all the way out for Brentford. But it's a clever little run from Dawson. Doubles back round, gets away at the far post and just has to get something on it. But the ball kind of just cannons off of his shin and spins away. Spins off of his shin. He doesn't get any contact on it at all. So 2 decent opportunities for West Ham there, Rio. But again, this is just comes back to our inability to put the ball in the net at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a story of our season. When we do create chances, which have been at a premium, let's be honest, we're not just getting the rub of the green, and the players you would expect to kind of knock the ball in the back of the net just aren't doing the business. But I'd say the positives are we have created 2 clear-cut chances, which were sadly lacking in the first half.
Well, there's an opportunity for another one now because Emerson's just had a shot which has been deflected out for a corner, which has been pointed out. Craven Moorhead points out. Declan Rice appears to be taking from the left-hand side, which is rather unusual. Not quite sure of the thinking behind that. But anyway, let's see how he gets on with this delivery. He manages to move the microphone, the boomer out of the way, obviously impeding his run-up. Declan Rice is going to put over an in-swinger here with his right foot. Bowen and Antonio both in front of Strakosha in the Brentford goal. Referee having a word with both, just them to behave themselves as Visser stands between the two. Still waiting for Declan Rice to take this corner. It's been given the signal to do it now. Here it comes. And it's a decent delivery, actually, in the centre of the box. And it's cleared out. I think West Ham are going to get the throw in there. The goalkeeper's claiming that he was impeded, which is absolute nonsense. There was no foul whatsoever there from Jared Bowen. Let's have another look. He pushes Bowen out the way. Bowen stands up. Well, maybe he's put an arm up, which of course is enough for any decision to go the goalkeeper's way these days. But decent delivery from Rice there, Rio.
Yeah, it's a lot better. There's been more positives in the second half already than the first. So 10 minutes in, a couple of clear-cut chances. Players who haven't really imposed themselves in the first half making more of an impact. So yeah, it's positive seeds there.
Good stuff. Let's hope it continues. 54 minutes gone. Brentford 0, West Ham United 0. West Ham still waiting for our first shot on target, unless the statisticians are including that Emerson effort that was deflected out for a corner, of course. I think they go down as block shots, don't they, rather than shots on target. But anyway, better from West Ham, as Rio says. We're 10 minutes into the second half. Brentford's only real opportunity so far, that Lewis Potter effort from close range that was fairly easily saved by Lucas Fabianski. But the home side are on the ball again now and looking to break with West Ham keeping it tight. What about substitutions today, Rio? I mean, David Moyes, I felt he was a little bit more proactive on Wednesday night up at Leeds. I think there was 5 subs in the end.
Yeah.
And, again, he received a lot of criticism because pretty much as soon as Paqueta and Skamaka were replaced, they scored, didn't they? Leeds equalised. But I felt that he was trying something a little bit different. And unlike, sort of waiting until the 80th minute, as he quite frequently does to make a change.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment it's caught between Devon and Deep Blue Sea, isn't he? Because we're struggling for results. We're struggling to kind of get any kind of continuity together. And I think the starting lineup on Wednesday night was kind of the last roll of the dice.
Yeah.
It seemed very strange. You had 2 left backs on the bench and Theo Kera playing out of position. There was a lot of things a little bit strange, but the team kind of responded. They did quite well. But I think where he's now chasing things rather than letting things evolve, because we're desperate for points. He's desperate for a change in mentality on and off the pitch. So I think he's got to be more proactive. He can't rely on his tried and trusted because they're not just delivering goods at the moment. Today's game at the moment, I mean, as I said, Mikel Antonio has been absolutely non-existent today.
Yeah.
So if I was David Moyes, the first change we'd be looking to make, I'd probably put in Boomer. I know he's a youngster, he ain't got a lot of experience. Probably the only experience he's got is in that Europa League game.
Yeah.
But he'll be chomping a bit to make an impression. So maybe he'll be an option, I hate to say it, and I think I mentioned this on the other night, If we're going to lose an FA Cup game, today's the one. I don't want West Ham win every single game. I want West Ham to win every single trophy. But if we are going to bow out of the cup competition early this year, it won't be the biggest disaster ever. So give him Boomer a go. Let him have a run. Let him try and impress. If it comes off, it's brilliant. If it doesn't, there's nothing lost.
Well, we are seeing a couple of West Ham players warming up at the moment, most notably Said Benrahma. Of course, the opportunity to play against his former club here. I'm kind of quite surprised to see him drop from the last couple of starting 11s. Don't know if there's anything been going on in the background there, but for me, he's been one of the players most likely to do something this season. I know, of course, there's always the opposite argument that, and there are the stats that suggest with him in the team, we are more likely to lose a match. this season, but he's a player who does give defenders something to think about, and that's something that we're really, really lacking, isn't it, this season? We haven't had that kind of player. I mean, we spoke about it the other night, Rio, didn't we? We haven't really got anyone who sort of frightens opposition defences.
No, and Saeed does offer that. We all know what his deficiencies are. It's his lack of consistency. As much as he frightens opposition defenders, he also frightens support. You just don't know what you're going to get, do you? He's got all the ability in the world, but he just doesn't channel it consistent enough for me. And he's not disciplined enough, particularly with David Moyes' side. He likes that kind of consistency, he can rely on people week in, week out. Side doesn't deliver that. I know one of our fellow moderators absolutely has it in for him.
Yes.
I'm slightly more lenient. I mean, I see a lot of more attributes than he does. He's still not the finished article. He's still far too inconsistent.
Yeah,
I am talking about Pinky and not Saeed.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. You just don't know what you're going to get, and that is the problem. You just don't know what you're going to get from him.
His former side just had a pretty decent chance, actually. They've just won a corner, but there was a moment there where Lucas Paqueta lost the ball, Brentford broke, and Visser had an opportunity to just slide a little ball into an overlapping player. I didn't catch who it was, but if he had done so, the player would have been in and just with Fabianski get a beat. He instead he turned, held the ball up, and the chance was gone. But we'll just stick with this now because Brentford have taken a very short corner. It's delivered into the box now, a high delivery. 3 West Ham players go up for the same ball, and fortunately, it drops to Lucas Paqueta, who hooks it clear. And the Brentford goalkeeper has actually come, Strakosha, has come to pick it up from inside the centre circle. West Ham obviously defending in numbers, but yeah, I think we were a little bit fortunate there. Could have been in trouble. But yeah, so it looks like Benrahma might be coming on. In terms of options, Rio's already mentioned that we've got Mbama out there as well. Connor Coventry, Sawyer. Flynn Downs, Pablo Fornells perhaps could give us something, but as you say, we haven't got an awful lot of attacking options out there today, have we?
No, I think we're Scamacca going and they've not been available. Again, we're relying on 2 strikers. If one of them's not firing, i.e. Mickey today, we are looking at youngsters, and despite all the investment we made, that is one area we still need at least 1 or 2 extra players. And it's showing. And particularly if we do get embroiled into a bigger battle than we are in terms of the league, if one of the 2 incumbents of the striking position isn't available, isn't firing, gets injured, you've got to worry about our future.
Do we need to? I mean, if there is a small war chest available to David Moyes or any, whoever's going to be holding the managerial reins when it comes to it, should we be looking to invest there, or are there other more urgent areas, do you think?
I definitely think the forward is the biggest thing. I know Scamacca's, we spent a lot of money on him, and he has delivered in certain aspects. I think it's just he's not being utilised to his full effect. But I think we definitely need a backup striker because, as I said, one injury of him, and we're on a Mickey, and he's not exactly firing this season. His fitness has always been an issue, and should he get injured, right, we're not even got Ian Pearce at our disposal for up front. So, yeah, it's almost like kind of a safety thing, a safety measure rather than a proactive measure.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, there are a couple of other areas, aren't there, that we desperately need reinforcements in. But, I don't think any of us are expecting the club to go out and spend another £100+ million addressing those issues, especially in January. Different story, of course, in the summer. We're into the final third of the game here. Anyway, it's 62 minutes gone. Still Brentford, nil West Ham United, nil West Ham. Still yet to have a shot on target. I believe. Best chance to have done so fell to Thomas Souček on just 3 minutes into the second half. Great ball from Lucas Paqueta into his path, but inexplicably managed to put it wide when just 7 yards out. No doubt that will have some of his detractors commenting on the EuMB.com forum and the match thread, which is where we'll be going after the game to discuss the game with the rest of our Hammers followers. West Ham have a free kick anyway on the right hand side. Poor delivery and headed out easily. But West Ham retain possession. A long ball played down the channel looking for Jared Bowen, but it's managed well by the home side. And then Declan Rice and Lucas Paqueta getting each other's way before the Brazilian is rather unceremoniously bundled into touch by a very, very late challenge. And West Ham are going to be given another free kick here with Lucas Paqueta down clutching his left Achilles, I think. Very late challenge, but another opportunity for West Ham to do something. Yeah, leaving the ball for each other there, Rio, the two of them.
Yeah, lack of communication, and it ends in a potentially a nasty accident. But it's something that we've got to kind of sharpen up on, because sometimes the players out there, and it's been noticeable over the last, probably since about October. I know it's been a massive change of personnel, but some of them are absolute strangers, like they're not on the same wavelength. And again, it's another contributing factor to the fact that we're in a bit of a minor.
Well, we're just waiting for this free kick to be taken. It's Bowen and Rice over it this time. I think it's going to be Jared Bowen who will deliver. Indeed, it is. It's an in-swinger. Sends it deep. That's quite a dangerous looking cross, but it's, in the end, it's quite easy for Strakosha to come out and claim about 10 yards, 10, 11 yards from his goal. And he immediately sets the home side off with a quick attack. Clever ball played down the channel behind Craig Dawson. And he's a little bit slow there, Dawson. Beaten to the ball by Aya. Sorry, it's Lewis Potter who wins the ball. And now Brentford looking to attack there inside West Ham's box. Angelo Bonner stands up. And Paqueta it is who gets the challenge in. But Brentford keep the ball. Bit dangerous this for West Ham. See what happens. Played into the box. Cleared by Aguerd and straight off the referee. But Brentford keep the ball, and they're still looking to create, hanging around the edge of the West Ham box. Ball hasn't come in yet. There it goes in, and that's a terrible, terrible, terrible delivery straight out into touch, and that'll be a goal kick for West Ham. That kind of sums up the game as a whole, really. I think Rio, that crossed absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, it's been one of them days, isn't it? There's been a distinct lack of quality in every area from every single player, both home and away. Yeah, it's not been an archetypal cup tie full of excitement and joy, has it? It's been like, no. It's been painful.
Yes, it has really. I guess we're kind of, because we're the West Ham are the away team, we're kind of slightly more content with that, I would imagine. But then again, of course, you're this season, taking Brentford to a replay in Stratford probably isn't, as a safer situation as it might have been in previous seasons, because we don't seem to be able to win anywhere at the moment. But anyway, this is where we are, and we're just approaching the final third of the game. 66 minutes gone. Brentford nil, West Ham United nil. Rio. Yeah,
and it's also a game, if it does go to a replay, that we could well do without. We've got a lot of games coming up. We've got European competitions to resume soon. I've said this, how many times have I said this tonight? We've got a relegation battle to kind of compete in. The last thing we need really is an extra game on top. A draw is a good result in terms of building confidence and proving a point and getting the mentality back for the squad. But you really want to get it done and dusted today, don't you? You don't want to kind of drag on.
No, absolutely. Brentford breaking on the left, managed to steal the ball into the box now. Ball played short. That's a poor touch. But they still got the ball. Ball drifted out to the right from Jensen. Cross comes in. Header, free header. And again, it's a poor header off target. Another good chance for Brentford, but poor stuff. And West Ham just got to be a little bit careful there. Lucas Fabianski having words, shall we say, with his defenders. Let's have another look at that. Again, the ball's drifted out from the centre of the goal to the right-hand side of the box where it's played in. It's a free header. Totally unmarked. The Brentford player there didn't see the number. But did you catch who that was who had the header there, Rio?
No, I'm juggling playing bloody streams again. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have epilepsy after this. If one buffers, I want another one. Oh, it's a nightmare, mate.
One of those days. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking ahead and thinking, even if West Ham do sort of get out of this with a draw, or if it goes to a replay, there's going to be a lot of criticism because we haven't had a shot on target. I'm kind of trying to envisage what the complaints are going to be already, and I guess that would be one of the mains. We're just back on the game briefly. We're a bit of a stop in play because Mariners having a word with Angelo Ogbonna, not quite sure about, but they've been in discussions for 30, 40 seconds or so. Ogbonna clearly not happy about something, and the home side about to ring the changes, Rio.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm surprised it's been left so late. There's not been a lot of quality, and both teams really do need kind of the way they're approaching this game. If they want to get a result today, I would have thought changes were made about 10, 15 minutes ago, not now.
The one of the players coming off is Lewis Potter. I've got he's been replaced by Chardon. I think there may have been quite a lot of cheers from the home fans there, if I'm hearing that right, to the greeted that substitution, which is a shame. If so, he's only a young lad, but he hasn't got anything right so far. And De Silva also replaced by Yanet for the home side. West Ham also making a change, and it's the former Brentford crowd favourite side Benrahma who replaces Thomas Souček for West Ham. So what are your thoughts on that one, Rio?
Well, you would have thought that Paqueta drops back into a more kind of quarterback style role for maybe a shifts. Trying to think who's playing. Shift Bowen a bit more central. Yeah, I know Tom's been playing a bit further forward than he has been the last few games, like before the World Cup, sorry. But he's not in a great game today either, and missing that chance has hit him. But yeah, there's this hope that this kind of injects a little bit of pace, a little bit of uncertainty into the Brentford defence, because as we mentioned a minute ago, Sorry gives you that unpredictability, doesn't he? Both for both sides basically. But it injects a bit more of an edge to the game now, doesn't it?
It does indeed, and it does seem to have livened up a little bit as a result of those substitutions. Declan Rice has just conceded the ball in really bad territory. The Hammers scrambling back in numbers, and Lucas Paqueta concedes a foul. I don't think it's going to be bad enough to be rewarded with a yellow card, but as pointed out on the stream by David O'Rourke, saying that he kind of saved Rice's bacon there. Those two seem to be kind of getting in each other's way a little. I'm not quite sure they each know what their role is specifically today. They're kind of both playing very centrally, and as I say, there seems to be a bit of confusion in there. Yeah,
there's a lot of kind of I don't know where exactly I'm supposed to be sitting. You're supposed to be sitting. Are you supposed to be pressing forward? And I've seen it's happened about 3 or 4 times, hasn't it? And it's quite unnatural. Again, it's indicative of the fact that we've bought these players and we don't seem to know how to utilise them completely. And players getting in each other's way, particularly this level, it's embarrassing, really.
The resulting free kicks drifted into the box where it's nodded down. Fabianski came to claim it, but Declan Rice, rightly, I think, in the circumstances, taking no chances, just putting it out into touch for a corner for the home side. It's their third of the game so far. West Ham have had 2 corners, and just waiting for it to come across. It's going to be delivered by Jensen, the captain. In it comes, near post, but West Ham managed to defend it pretty well, and there's a chance for counter on here if Jarrod Bowen can get away. He's on the run, bursts into the opposition half, 2 players up against him, tries to cut inside and loses possession, and Brentford, I think, will be able to clear that out. But West Ham looking a bit sharp on the counter, but now it's West Ham having tried to counter, are being countered themselves. Craig Dawson's been left for dead. I think he's going to take a booking for that one. Brings down the substitute Sharda, number 9, on the halfway line, just out by the touchline where the dugouts are. Now, I haven't seen a card issued. We didn't see that on the TV cameras, but I'm fairly sure that Mariner's going to have issued a card for that one. Dawson, beaten for pace, just tugged his man back to prevent him going forward. In the end, Sharda just trips over the ball, but it was all kind of instigated by the foul. Did you see a card issued there, Rio?
No, I didn't see. No. Again, I've lost. lost link. I'm on me now 7th stream of the day, which is quite remarkable considering it. There's not a lot available.
Dawson yellow, says Steve Palmer. Thanks, Steve. I didn't see that indicated on the telly, but on the screen, but not surprised. I'm very surprised if it hadn't been issued because it was a clear prevention of the player's run. Anyway, Brentford just dropping a ball into the box, but Fabianski able to come out and meet it. And West Ham look to break again, 74th minute. Still Brentford 0, West Ham United 0. Terrible, terrible game so far. Rice into the box for West Ham. He tries his luck. Shots blocked. He's going to try it again, and it's going to cannon off the defender for a corner here, which we're clearly some way behind here, Rio, because I can see the corner's already been taken. According to the team in the comment section, we've already seen it, and I don't think we're going to be expecting much from it by all accounts.
Okay, but as long as they're ahead of the game, like no, we're just here for background entertainment.
That's it. Yeah. Indeed. We're into the last. Oh, well, we've just seen it come up on the screen. There you go. West Ham United yellow card. Craig Dawson, the broadcaster's finally catching up with that. The corner delivered again by Declan Rice, and it's long and drifts all the way out. Bit too deep. What's going on now? I mean, we've got Emerson on the pitch, haven't we? I'm kind of perplexed as to why Declan Rice has taken the last two corners, Rio.
Yeah, I mean, he's not renowned for his set piece taking, is he? It's another one of them strange things. I mean, is he doing it because he wants to be the all-action, all-knowing, all-singing, all-dancing West Ham player? You would have thought, just give it to the person who can do the job properly. Jared Bowen normally takes an excellent corner. I know he's been lacking this season, but over the last 18 months, he's been superb. So why are we trying to put square pegs in the round holes? You would have thought that could be much more suited in the boxes in aerial threat, even in the edge of the box, and pick up the pieces. It's just weird. Yep,
odd one. Anyway, the Hammers on the break again on the left-hand side. Rice with the ball, plays it back to Emerson. Emerson's going to try and deliver a cross. That's about cross number 290 that's come to nothing for West Ham so far this season. The numbers are totting up. We still haven't scored. And Brentford looking to break again on the right-hand side with a quick break. It seems to be Brentford actually were doing all the work on the counter at the moment rather than the other way around, which is a little bit strange. West Ham still looking for their first shot on target in the game, and 75 minutes gone. Going to have to do it soon if we're going to score. But anyway, all looking like a replay at the moment, Rio. And of course, that's the cue for about 8 goals in the next 10 minutes, no doubt.
Yeah, going to flood in now. I think we're going to win 5-3. The thing with the crosses, it's like the whole spot the ball competition, isn't it? You can put 5,000 crosses down, and you're not going to win the jackpot. It's just the way West Ham are at the moment. It's all them years where it's calling out for people to put the ball in the box, get it in the mixer so that we can score. And now it's going to completely the opposite way. People are saying, don't cross it. Yeah, and it's indicative of one. We struggle to break teams down. So the way we are trying to do it is by putting the ball into the channels, getting balls into the area. We're just lacking that clinical striker, aren't we? And also lacking quality delivery. That's the thing. It has been a premium this year. The balls that come into the area, which we actually get someone on the end of.
Yes, I suppose we've got, eventually one's got to go for us. But anyway, West Ham looking, as I said, it was 267 before the Leeds game. I think 267 crosses without a single goal. West Ham have a throw in on the left-hand side. And I've just muted myself by accident. Rio, keep an eye on this because I think something's about to happen. Emerson with the throw-in for West Ham, about 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side, looking for options. Paqueta drops short. Instead, he plays it to Benrahma. Benrahma gets to the byline. Can he get a crossover? He does. Great cross. Comes over. Headed clear. West Ham still with the ball. But, it's hooked out again into touch on our streams. And Brentford have a free kick. I'm not going to give anything away for those who are following us on the stream and don't have access to Twitter or the like. But as it stands, it's 0-0, 78 minutes gone. And Brentford have a free kick just down by their right corner flag. Ball Ball cleared out by the keeper, Strakosha, to the halfway line. Angelo Ogbonna wins the ball. But Brentford managed to get it away. Clear to the halfway line. Declan Rice looks to win in and win the ball. He does really well. Now, here's a chance for West Ham. Benrahma! Side Benrahma back to Brentford, and he scored the goal that could break the hearts of the West London club. It was Declan Rice who won the ball in the midfield, played it short to Benrahma. The substitute, he's only been on the field for, 10 minutes or so, picks the ball up 25 yards from goal, thinks, I'm going to have some of that. Let's one go, back of the net, Brentford 0, West Ham United 1, Rio.
Can I claim an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor? Because I've still not seen it. My stream was frozen. So that Punching Delight was completely off the cuff and unscripted. I'm a method actor, as you know. Yeah, I haven't seen it because the stream's frozen, but thank God for that. We needed that big time. As much as I was kind of bluffering and trying to be hopeful about taking them back to a replay, we didn't need it. Well done, Benny. Thankfully, you've come to our rescue. And of all the places to do it, Brentford fans singing last week, he wants to come home. Well, he's come home here, mate, and they're just not one in the back of the net. So chew on that.
The goal coming, West Ham's first shot on target. In fact, we're at the moment, we're scoring with every shot on target. We had 2 shots on target at Leeds the other night, scored 2 goals. 1 shot on target tonight, scored 1 goal. So we're obviously saving them for the best at the moment. Brentford have made more changes here. We're still waiting for the game to kick off again. But it's a peculiar goal, that. I mean, when you get the chance to see it, Rio, have a look at the angle from behind Benrahma, because he doesn't even find the corners. I mean, he lets a shot go. It's not particularly hard. So it's about 5 foot off the ground. So easy, easy area for Strakosha to save. Straight down the middle. Strakosha just doesn't move. The ball doesn't deviate in the air. It doesn't take a swerve, and he just watches the ball sail past him. It's a bizarre goal to concede. I can only assume that he was short-sighted, didn't see the shot coming in, and didn't get the opportunity to make the change. But anyway, Brentford have made a couple of changes in the 80th minute. Henry's on. They've made another change. I didn't quite see who else came on there and who went off, because I was still trying to figure out why the goalkeeper didn't make any attempt at saving that shot. But anyway, we don't care. It's Brentford 0, West Ham United 1. There's only 10 minutes to go, and the Hammers are 10 minutes away from their first win since 30th of October, I think, if I remember rightly. Long time ago, anyway.
Yep, it's a long time ago. There's been an absolute World Cup since then. You know what I mean? Don't happen once every 4 years.
And Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. Yeah.
World Cup,
Brand
Christmas.
New Year, the lot.
That's probably not happened before. Brentford have a corner in the 82nd minute. A cross came in from the left a few moments ago, and it was scrambled clear with Brentford threatening. As I said, they've got lots of subs on now. Let's see if we can figure out who they are. But we're just waiting for this corner to come in.
Henry went on for Ayer. And Kanyos went on for Damsgaard in the 80th minute.
Thank you very much. And Brentford on the left-hand side. Visa puts a cross over. Again, it comes to nothing. I think Fabianski is going to be able to, he plucks it out of the air. And Declan Rice, well, look, we've been talking about Declan Rice playing in that role, Rio, tonight, just sitting in front of the back four and mopping up. And there's a reason why we'd like him to carry on doing it. I mean, in that position, picks the ball up, finds Benrahma, bang, it could be the goal that wins the game.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute perfect example of what he should be doing best. He has got the ability to pass the ball. All the technical attributes he have. He's better suited to that role. Just pick up, don't dictate the play. Don't be a Steven Gerrard. Don't be a Frank Lampard. You haven't got the shooting ability. Just do what you're good at. Mop up the play, spread the ball around, pick out the pass. Just lead by example and be a leader of men rather than trying to be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Brentford attacking again on the left-hand side. They're into the box. Cross comes on. It's a low cross. Declan Rice there once again. Gets a foot in and out with the ball. Finds Jarrod Bowen. Great work by the West Ham skipper there. And he's got the ball again on the halfway line. Little 1-2 with Jarrod Bowen. He's going nowhere there though, and he's lost possession. Waving his, come on, Declan. No good waving your arms around, son. Get back and win the ball. Brentford breaking towards goal, but Mickey Antonio has actually done tremendously well to chase back and nip the ball off a player, and now he's bursting forward as Said Benrahma's got the ball, plays it in deep, looking for Jared Bowen. Bowen almost there, but in the end, the defender just managing to get a foot on it and put it out for a corner. West Ham, good counter there. Benrahma instrumental again, decent delivery, looking for Jared Bowen, but Benrahma's changed the game, and you've got to say, I'm sure his detractors will be saying, well, you should have started from the beginning, but David Moyes' change having a positive effect in this instance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is probably, his fans will say he should be starting week in, week out. But there are times where he's much more effective from the bench because he has that chaos effect, which, against tiring defences, he can cause absolute chaos in the back line. He's got that pace. He can ability to run on the ball. He's got a good goal scoring ability. If he can deliver that week in, week out over 90 minutes, fine, starting. But at the moment, coming from the bench, I think much more suits him. And it benefits the club more at the moment. When we're not in a position we can carry passengers and carry people who might not be able to deliver week in, week out. We need people on their mettle, 90 minutes, causing and working for team ethics, not just glory. And Benny just hasn't got that 100% 90-minute work ethic at the moment.
West Ham unable to clear their lines here. This is dangerous. Brentford still playing the ball around the edge of the box. A kind of weird looping cross came in, and Angelo Ogbonna couldn't clear it. Gave the ball away again, and West Ham back to defending in numbers. I'm going to call it now. I think we're going to break away and get a second one in the final few minutes, which is a really dangerous thing to do.
It is, yeah.
I can see the way this is going. I mean, it's a cup tie. They've got to throw numbers forward, and I can see us maybe grabbing a late second goal here and wrapping it up in the final few seconds. But we've just seen one of the substitutes, Janel, tries luck from 25 yards, and he can carry on doing that all day long because it's sailed way over the bar into the crowd. Rio, we're just seeing another change, and here he comes. Pablo Fornals is coming on the pitch. Flynn Downs coming on as well. Now, who's coming off? It's Antonio,
and Paqueta,
who's actually worked really hard. And as Rio says, Paqueta. Now, of course, we kind of fell apart a little bit at Ellen Road on Wednesday night when Paqueta went off, but I think he was tiring a bit there, Rio. I mean, he's putting such a good shift today. He's worked so hard. One thing you can guarantee with Fornals and Downs is that they're going to give as much for the final few minutes as those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. The work rate and the work ethic is going to be instilled in them too. And also, you haven't got a team absolutely bombed on like Leeds are, because as much as Brentford are chasing the game, they haven't really offered a lot, have they?
No.
They've been quite, for a team that normally is quite a potent force, particularly on a break. They've been pretty blunt up front. Maybe that's because the wholesale changes they're made. They're missing their focal point in Tony, obviously. But for a team who normally causes us a lot of problems, we've been pretty, I hate to say it with 3 minutes to go, but we've been pretty comfortable against these lot.
West Ham 3.5 minutes away, plus added on time from our first win over Brentford since 1993, as we were saying earlier in the stream. It's been a long time, 30 years since we managed to beat them. Of course, they've only played them 3 times since, but Brentford with the hex on West Ham in those recent meetings. Just having a quick look at the stats, just flashed up on the screen actually. Brentford 8 shots so far, only 1 on target. West Ham 9 shots, only 1 on target. Of course, that one being the one that's made the difference so far. So Benrahma, the substitute coming on, he'd been on the pitch for a matter of minutes before scoring the goal. 3, 4, 5 minutes, I think he'd been on the pitch and making the difference so far. How are you feeling right now, Ria? Are you kind of nervous about this? I mean, West Ham hanging on to 1 goal lead with our porous defence. Usually we'd be having kittens right now, but I'm kind of strangely all right now.
Yeah, I'm strangely chilled. I'm sitting here. Right,
what's going on?
If it happens, it happens. We're on the break, yeah. Got man over. Oh, he's checked back. Why did you check back? Saeed, what are you doing? Surge into the box. It was like 2-on-1 situation. Brentford got another man back. So he checked his run and it petered out of nothing. But that was the chance on the break you mentioned a moment ago. That was it. And yeah, unfortunately petered out of nothing. But it's kill time. I will say that. It's kill time.
Where are you on your stream now, Rio?
Stream number 28 is on 89.30 at the moment.
In which case, I shall pass the baton over to you because you're well over a minute ahead of me. So
you know that's going to make this one foul again, don't you? Brentford just made another change. Benrahma goes off, and I couldn't quite catch, but the company number 39 comes on. So they're obviously going to pump the ball forward and throw everything at us now. We're actually 90 minutes is up. We're just waiting to hear the confirmation how much extra time is going to be played. The Brentford have sorted in just outside our box, ball in, cleared easily by the West Ham defence. It's 4 minutes of added time.
4 minutes to go. West Ham 4 minutes away from our first win since the 30th of October. I'm just seeing the Benrahma chance now. I'm just seeing him. You know, you're screaming to put Jared Bowen in, and isn't that just Benrahma in a nutshell, Rio? 1 minute he can pull out a weldy, and the next, you know, you're absolutely going crazy at his inability to release the ball at the right time. Yeah,
and he just summed up his West Ham career, and I think this is why David Moyes doesn't trust him 100%, right? Because those are the kind of opportunities. I know at the moment we're 1-0 up the cup side, but if that had been the league at 0-0, you would have been you would have dragged him off the pitch yourself, wouldn't you? You would have run from Lincolnshire and got him by the scruff of the neck and gone like off. But this is what he's capable of. He's capable of scoring absolute worldies, like you say, but that lack of intelligent decision making at times is what lets him down. This is why he's not a regular fixture in the side. He's got all the ability in the world, but the intelligence and the awareness just isn't top-notch Premiership class for me.
Yeah.
So Brentford are sorting forward. Shot from the right-hand side of our box with fires into the crowd. Got to nothing. That will kill some more time for West Ham. There's 91.5 on the clock. We've got 2.5 minutes to go.
It's coming
to the box behind our defence, but there's nothing really on. It's from a very acute angle. It's nothing really there.
We're going to have to try and remember what it's like to celebrate a victory if it stays like this. I'm not quite sure how to react. It's been
I'll
so
have to
long.
go to me. I've got a book upstairs where victory celebration, what to do in terms of success, but it's in the attic. Ain't been out since 1995.
Very dusty tome, that one. Very, very dusty.
West Ham on the attack now. There's 2 minutes to go. Put out to the left-hand side of Brentford's defence. Benrahma puts in the ball in. Oh, keeper cuts it out. If the keeper missed it, can't think it was Jared Bowen. It would have been the end of that. But again, it kills vital seconds. But nice little move there. So Brentford trying to play out from the back. Knock it to the right-hand side. And as if you didn't know, well, Barry Davis got nothing to worry about his retirement because I'm going to take over him now. I'm all for this.
So the good thing about being on a stream and being a minute or so behind everyone else is that you kind of know what's coming. So you don't get that kind of rush every time they break forward.
Oh yeah,
which is good.
So again, Brentford down left-hand side. Good in the defensive work there by Ben Johnson, puts the ball out of play. So with a minute to go, Brentford on the left-hand side of the box, just outside the 16-yard area, with a long throw-in impending. Now, please do not do the West Ham thing of late and concede from a throw-in. The keeper's gone up. Keeper's in the mix, middle of the centre of the penalty box, sorry. Ball goes in. Keeper gets head on it, but it's come to nothing. Oh, and cleared by West Ham. Now, if we break here, if Soy can get past the defender, which he's done, he's checked back. Good defensive work by Brentford. They're like, sorry, Benrahma on the break, but defensively they've got hustled out in play. But yeah, the keeper gone up. If we got broke away a bit forward, the opportunity for an open goal was there. There's now about 10 seconds to go. Surely the referee's going to blow up soon. Come on. Brentford with the West Ham with a throw-in. Take your time. Take your time. Just put it in play now. Let the ref blow. Ball comes in, and we've only gone and won the cup game.
Unbelievable scenes. It's finished Brentford 0, West Ham United 1. We're all kind of completely perplexed because we don't know how to react. Now, West Ham have won their first game of football since October. 7 horrible games since, 6 defeats, 1 draw. Kind of, a few signs of light at the end of a very dark tunnel at Ellen Road on Wednesday night. And here we go. West Ham have won 1-0, a win, first win since October, first clean sheet since God knows when. And sum that up, Rio, if you will.
Let's be honest, it wasn't a pretty performance. The first half was lacking quality from both sides. The second half, we came out a little bit more brighter, a bit more resolute, much more intent. It took a few substitutions, which were desperately needed to try and change the game. But Saeed Benrahma comes on, does his little bit of magic, does the usual Saeed Benrahma thing, plays well for 5 or 6 minutes, gets a goal, then disappears into Saeed Benrahma land. But what can you say? Not only is it a really good and important victory, it's going to breed success and breed a bit more confidence in the squad, which is desperately lacking at the moment. But it's another game that we got avoided because we didn't want to replay, both financially and physically. Confidence back in the squad, a little bit of belief coming back, and a win against a bogey side in the cup team. What more can you ask for? It wasn't pretty, it wasn't great, but the job's done, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Yeah,
job done, as Rio says. Before you go, let us know who you felt. Let's have your man of the match shouts down there. Did you think Benrahma was the difference? Lucas Paqueta had a really good game. Declan Rice, of course, made that fantastic tackle that set up the goal and made some vital interceptions. Lucas Fabianski, strong and solid again. I mean, he wasn't under too much pressure today, to be fair, which is confirmed by a quick cursory look at the final match statistics, which read Brentford having 59% possession to West Ham's 41%, 10 shots for the home side, 1 on target, 9 shots for West Ham, 1 on target. Of course, that one shot was the one that made the difference. I mentioned earlier, we only had 2 shots on target at Ellen Road, scored with both. It's the same here, only 1 shot on target and another goal. It was Saeed Benrahma on the pitch as a 69th minute replacement for Thomas Souček, who should have scored earlier on in the half. Of course, that great cross from Lucas Paqueta 3 minutes into the second half that Souček, with a goal at his mercy, couldn't even find the target with, managed to just shin it into behind the goal. It looked like we might have wasted our best chance of the game, and that wasn't to be, because Benrahma came on the pitch 69 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes later. Declan Rice, fantastic challenge inside the centre circle to retrieve the ball as Brentford looked to attack, passed it short to Benrahma. Benrahma let one go from 22, 23 yards. Strange one, as I said, didn't even, find the corner of the net. It was straight down the centre. And goalkeeper Strakosha, the replacement goalkeeper for Brentford, just basically sat there and watched it sail beyond him into the back of the net. And that was the goal that made the difference here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. West Ham through to the 4th round of the FA Cup and a first win against Brentford since 1993. Man of the match, Rio. We'll go to some of the choices from the guys on the stream shortly. But who did you have down as your best player today?
Again, it wasn't an obvious choice because no one really was outstanding today. Most pointer attacking options were pretty anonymous. So, to be honest, I think Declan Rice actually stood up to the mark today. No, it's a very difficult place to go. He didn't do a thing wrong today. He led by example. He mopped up. He did exactly what we was mentioning in the first half and at half time. He did all the things that he excels at well. And in the end, he actually intercepted the ball, released Benrahma, which led to the goal. So that was the icing on the cake. So for me, Declan Rice is he's been a lot of criticism lately from the West Ham support, but he did exactly what we needed him to do today, and he's got through to the next round of the FA Cup.
Good stuff. Declan Rice, Rio shout for man of the match this afternoon. Just looking at some of your comments on the live chat down there. Polaroid going for Paqueta. Dan B also going for Paqueta, and Leonard Brook also going for Paqueta. So a clean sleep for clean sweep even for you guys. I kind of agree. I thought Paqueta was excellent today. I think the last two games we've kind of been a bit worried about his inability to settle in the first 3 months since he came to England. But I think the last two games we're just beginning to see the first chinks that he's going to be a really instrumental player for us. Played really well, I thought, on Wednesday night. I thought he had a terrific game against A. However, I think when we've just kept our first clean sheet for a while, it would be remiss not to consider a defender. Craig Dawson, I didn't think had that great a game today. He obviously got beaten. Our only player booked. Looked a bit slow at times. And Naifa Gerd still feeling his way into the team. Thought did pretty well. But for me, I'm going to give my man of the match award to Angelo Ogbonna, because I thought he had a really decent game today. Stuck his head in several times where it hurt to. I've just seen that Souček chance again to avert the danger, and I thought he played really well today. So for me, Angelo Ogbonna. Let's find out who a third member of the team felt was man of the match, because we're just about to be joined. Let's shuffle you and I aside a little bit so we can get him in the centre between us. And joining us now live from the stadium, along with the rest of a jubilant travelling fan base, and hopefully this afternoon avoiding any potholes. It's a man like no one on the street.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
After half time, I was kind of miserable and fed up. It was a dreadful game of football first half. I was cold. I was wet. You can probably see I'm limping a bit to me arthritic ankles playing up a bit. I'm thinking, yeah, what am I doing here? Still was a classic, but a much better second half, and deserved the win. Yeah, happy.
Who have you got down as your? We'll jump straight into it because we've just been doing it now before you joined us. Who have you got down as your man of the match today?
I think Paqueta, although Benrahma did change the game a lot when he came on. I thought Paqueta worked his socks off today. We were saying anyway, but I don't know what it looked like from a stream, but obviously we're quite low down, but that's what it looked like to us anyway. Yeah,
I mean, everybody in the live chat went for Paqueta as well. Everyone who's commented so far, so it's a popular choice. Rio went for Declan Rice. I thought Angelo Ogbonna had a decent game out there. So went slightly different, but general consensus is Paqueta really ran that game stage. So talking about the goal,
mate,
I mean,
sorry, just blokes decided to try and run people down. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
not another pothole, unfortunately. Hang on.
No. We're on. Shit.
We're in the next now. Goal, no. I mean, I'm presuming you were one of those who were behind the goal, slightly to the right of Benrahma when he took the shot.
I was actually to the left of Benrahma, to the right of the goal. From behind it, if you see what I mean, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah, I've got you. What did you make of it? Because we've seen an angle from behind Benrahma where the ball seems to go straight down the centre. Looks like it's a fairly easy save for the goalkeeper, but he just doesn't move. He's kind of rooted to his spot there. What did you make of it from your position?
To be honest, from our position, it was difficult to tell what sort of angle. We just presumed he placed it the other side. But I was seeing. I had a quick read of the BBC thing, and they said it was something that the keeper might not be too pleased to see again. So, but of course, I think you're making one major mistake, and that is believing that I care.
Well, there is that to it, of course, I suppose. Yeah, that's a fair point. Before that, I mean, as we said, we pointed out that was our only shot on target, which was the case at Leeds on Wednesday night. 2 shots on target, 2 goals, 1 shot on target today, and 1 goal. But of course, we should have been ahead, really, right at the start of the second half. Great ball played in from the byline by Lucas for Tommy Souček, and we couldn't
really should have scored that.
I would imagine it was the same for you guys.
Yeah, he really should have scored that. My beloved always likes to punt on Souček to score, and I don't know if she put anything on today, but you know, it was it was a bit poor, that was.
Yeah, not a great effort at all. Of course, as you said, the first half was pretty dreadful. Not a lot for anyone to get to. Sorry, I wonder what that was. Not much for anyone to get excited, but it was a better second half. The game kind of came alive a little bit. But we defended well, didn't we today? Looked good.
Yeah, I mean, the first half, miserable though it was, I've tried to rack my brains to sort of see how many real saves Fabianski had to make. You know, there was one that came off the post as well, but I think the offside flag went up as well. So yeah, I mean, they had a lot of possession, and it was all going across the pitch, and you know, it never really sort of looked like scoring. And then, and the second half, I thought we played some decent football. That move where Souček should have scored, was quite a decent move.
We lost 3-1.
Yeah. So,
good
anyway.
Stuff indeed. Good stuff. No, I'm going to shut up for a minute, Noam, and pass you over to Rio. I'm sure Rio's got plenty of questions he would like to throw your way today. So I shall, as I say, I shall hush up for a sec. Rio, over to you.
Yeah. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate. Just want to feel where you think about the way we defended today. It's been a bit of a difficult place to go over the last couple of years since they returned back to the Premiership. We've obviously got Andrew Bonner back, one of his first games. He hasn't played a lot at all, has he? Noifer Gerd back as well. Craig Dawson, a bit enigmatic, but no, I thought we defended quite resolutely.
I thought it was good because I think we did to them what they did to us, really. In the game at the Olympic the other week, particularly first half, we had so much of the ball and we kept them penned in, but we couldn't go past them, couldn't get through the sorry, just working out where I got going. We couldn't get between the lines, and that was pleasing to see. So I just got the lights went for me there. So I thought it was a good defensive performance today. Still lost the ball in midfield a few times too many for my liking. Didn't know where Skamaka was, by the way. I only found out late before kick-off he wasn't playing.
No, we both pretty much unaware why Skamaka and both Ariola weren't available, because normally he would have been in goal today, wouldn't he?
Yeah, true.
There's no official word yet.
I mean, it hammered it down first half. I mean, we had the there's a roof over us and we're still getting drenched in the first half. I think both of them would probably be glad of any knock they picked up that kept them off the pitch or kept them trying to keep dry from that first half. It was really horrible. But I suspect we'll find out later on. Somebody will maybe ask a question in the press conference. Of course, if I were
the only other thing I was going to ask, mate, is in terms of your away support, what is the feelings amongst what's the atmosphere like amongst your away support? I know Pinky mentioned kind of away from the broadcast that we do, that there's been no turning against Moyes in the away end at Leeds, despite the fact we didn't pick up another win the other day. Before the games, any kind of murmurs or any kind of disquiet on this?
I think we're all a bit miserable because we haven't won for so long. But once we got going, I think it was kind of helped by a couple of little mummies boys in the Brentford section who thought they were big and hard and then got told to shut up by their own stewards and roundly had the piss taken out of them. And there's the usual sort of self-deprecating humour, like, we've had a shot and how shit must you be, we're winning away and all that sort of thing. Once we went up, and particularly, I mean, they were singing all the way through. I mean, this Brentford, a bit like Palace, they're sort of much lauded about their so-called support, but they were pretty silent all day as far as I can see. And they just roundly had the mickey taken. So I think everyone's in a decent mood now. Of course, the with a draw to look forward to. So, but I mean, I didn't get to the ground till sort of not long before kickoff. Pinky and I both went to two different hotels with the same name. And well, there's one at one end of the Great West Road and there's one at the other. And so we didn't quite meet up. And so just watching somebody go for a red light at the Chiswick Flyers roundabout, which is quite fun. So yeah, the general mutterings were there weren't too many anybody mutterings, I think, but it was just the usual sort of self-deprecating gallows humour going around.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Any more questions, Rio, before we move on?
No, other than please no, get home safely, mate. And
well, this is not a lot of fun because all the usual sort of routes. But yeah, train strike and everything. Trains from the nearest station stop running about 6 o'clock, and I'm now just trying to work out how the hell to get home and which way to go. So, thankfully, I'm not actually going all the way home this evening. I'm going down to the Beloveds, and so I've only got to get as far as Morden. But how I'm going to get there, I don't know. If you're watching, love, expect me when you see me.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Well, we're going to wrap up there, I think, chaps. At the end of a momentous afternoon, you might say, for West Ham. First win against Brentford since 1993. 30 years in the waiting. First win of any kind since October 2022. What is that now? I'm trying to two and a bit months. Seems longer than that. Seems a lot longer than that. Some other, actually, I've not seen Match of the Day for so long. It's going to be quite strange tuning into it against. Of course, this means I'll have to write an opposition view for you as well tomorrow. So
that'll be funny.
Having looked at the scores at the moment, mate, watch Match of the Day, not just for us, but yeah, the Wrexham Coventry game sounds like an absolute cracker, and also at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday beating Newcastle 2-1.
Yes, Newcastle just brought one back, I believe. They were 2 goals behind to a double from Josh Windass.
It's his son.
It's his son, Dean? Yeah. It is his son, is it? I know an interesting fact. It's not interesting. It's totally boring. Dean Windass was the last player born in the 1960s to play in the Premiership or the Premier League at the time. Completely pointless fact, but there you go. I don't know why that
he got issued some ridiculous number of red cards in the same game. Didn't he? Yeah. Oh, look that one up. He was playing up in Scotland, and I think he got sent off, wouldn't go, and got just every time somebody. I think he was kicking lumps out of things, and yeah, look it up. It's ludicrous, but
Dean Windass, who was expecting him to get a mention in today's stream. But anyway, before we go, a couple of stats for you. Saeed Benrahma's played for 21 minutes. His stats: 80% pass accuracy, 18 touches, 1 key pass, 1 shot on target, and 1 goal. Declan Rice, Rio's man of the match, 87% pass accuracy, 77 touches, 55 passes complete, 4 out of 5 long balls complete, 4 clearances, 3 out of 5 ground duels won, one of which, of course, was the one that led to the only goal of the game.
What a tackle that was.
Yeah, brilliant, wasn't
it?
Fantastic.
Very clear view of that, and that was superb.
Brilliant. 2 key passes, 1 assist, ran the midfield, says Statman Dave. Saeed Benrahma, of course, scoring the only goal of the game. It's a goal that's taken West Ham through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Clean sheet, away win. First win for ages. What an afternoon it's been, and it was a terrible bloody game. That's the funniest thing about it all, I guess, really. We had 1 shot on target. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I can't wait to see the David Moyes thread tonight. No doubt his backers will be talking about how we've kind of turned a corner in the last 2 games, and I'm sure his detractors will be reminding us we still only had 3 shots on target in the last 2 games. But anyway, we'll leave it there, chaps. So any last minute additions before we go, Rio?
No, just I looked up the last time we beat Brentford. The scores of Peter Butler, Kevin Keane, Trevor Morley, and Martin Allen.
Good Lord. Do you remember that one, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So yeah, it was that that year that we came up there. You had a weird thing where it was goals scored counted, not goal difference.
Yep.
And so that kind of helped us out that one very big time in the ultimate reckoning.
Yes, led to that amazing final day of the season, didn't it? Do we know when the FA Cup draw? I mean, none of us will have even looked at this, I'm sure, but I'm guessing the draw will be tomorrow, Monday.
I presume it's Monday during the run show normally, isn't it?
I thought it might be Sunday. I thought I read somewhere, but you know, maybe not.
Well, we'll keep an eye on these up, Mother Brown. We shall, of course, let you know when that draw takes place, what number West Ham are, who to look out for. Except one team definitely not there is going to be Millwall, unfortunately, because they got knocked out, which is a real shame. I believe this afternoon.
It was a game where you wanted both teams to get knocked out, didn't you?
Yes, definitely one of those. It's back to the big league next week. West Ham, unusually, I guess, and this probably won't happen too often between now and the end of the season, but West Ham have 7 days off until we have a huge game next week against Wolves at Molineux. Massive game for West Ham. Of course, it's Everton the week after. Guys, I guess we're presuming that David Moyes is going nowhere for the next 7 days. Would that be fair, Rio, do you think?
Yeah, I think his future will be decided on the 2 league games. If we lost a day, that would have been kind of inconsequential, really. It's all about the league now.
Yeah.
It's all about the money, league points, staying in the Premiership. So, yeah, the next 2 league games will decide his future.
There you go. Okay, good stuff. And I should point out as well, another bonus from this afternoon is that Noam's not falling down any today.
Hey, well, give me a second. I'm just going upstairs in a bus. So
he's kind of disappearing there. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Noam, thank you for joining us after the game. Have a safe trip back to Noam Towers. Rio, as always, thank you. Been great fun enjoying the game with you this afternoon. To everyone who's joined us, thank you as always for your comments and contributions to the stream. As always, you keep us going throughout the game, and yeah, that's about it. He's scored his 70th league goal of his career. No, in any competition, wasn't a league goal today, was it? Side Benrahma's come up trumps for West Ham this afternoon. Gone back to his own club, scored the only goal, knocked him out of the cup. West Ham through the 4th round. It's all looking rosy again, guys. Come on, you Irons! It's unbelievable. We'll see you all next week anyway for the trip to Molineux. Very important game for West Ham there. But get yourselves on over to the KUMB forum, general discussion forum, match thread, and we'll discuss the game further. Until then, till next week, we'll see you all again. Take care, everyone. Come on, you Irons.
Bye.